Good evening, everybody. Welcome to tonight's session. We will be starting in a few minutes. We'll give it a few minutes for some people to linger in. 6:30 is an interesting time, so we'll give it a couple of minutes. Thank you, everybody, for joining. We'll be getting started shortly. We're just waiting a couple of minutes for other registrants to join us. Give it about another minute or two and see if anybody else is joining us so they don't miss the beginning of our presentation.
Nice to see the numbers growing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think dinner time, aren't people
It's
making
hard.
sure it's
Yeah.
hard. If you start
Yeah.
earlier, you can't start earlier. If you start later, sometimes it's a little too late with people trying to get kids to bed.
Yeah. That's what we've always said that about parenting education. There is no good time for parenting education. Like,
Exactly.
when does it happen?
Yeah, 100%. And I'll give it one more minute just in case we have some people that are still waiting to join. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Okay, well, I think we'll get started this evening. Thank you, everybody, for joining us this evening. My name is Chenza Kachadi, and I am the Family Engagement Coordinator at Canuck Child and Family Services. Welcome to this evening's family education session. Our topic is an introduction to Triple P, which is a positive parenting program. Our family education series, developed in partnership with our Family Advisory Committee, is intended to build on your capacity as caregivers to identify, understand, and respond to childhood and adolescent mental health and behavioral concerns. During tonight's session, you will learn what Triple P is, why it is effective, expected outcomes with Triple P program, and how to access Triple P in your area. Before we start, we have some housekeeping items to share with you. All our participants' phone lines are muted and your cameras are turned off to ensure a clear connection throughout the session. We've set aside some time at the end of the presentation to answer any questions that you may have. You can ask a question by selecting the Q&A icon and a window will appear for you to submit questions. There is an anonymous feature if you would like to ask a question anonymously. And please feel free to ask questions throughout the presentation using the Q&A icon so we can get to all of your questions, and it gives you the opportunity to ask a question before you forget if one pops into your mind. And please note that we can only respond to general questions relating to today's presentation. We cannot offer individual advice at this for tonight, but please do not let that stop you from asking questions, and we will respond to as many questions this evening as we can. At the end of the meeting, we will launch a poll to collect your feedback on the session. And if you are having technical difficulties, please use the Q&A feature to report them. We will now launch a poll just to identify our audience to see where you are, who you are, and where you are from. And again, we will launch another poll at the end of tonight's session to get your feedback on your thoughts on this evening's session so we continue to plan them with you in mind. So I would like to welcome our presenters this evening. Julie London she is our Triple P regional coordinator, and after a 17-year career in training and development for a national retail organization, Julie pursued studies in early childhood education and resource consulting. She quickly secured roles in childcare and early learning environments before transitioning to a community coordinator position. Since 2009, she has coordinated evidence-based parenting education programs in Hastings and Prince Edward Counties, York Region here in Ontario. Julie is also a trained accredited practitioner in both Triple P and Circle of Security and is a member of the Triple P Ontario Network. Nicole Keene is a Triple P coordinator and an experienced early childhood educator with over 13 years in the field. I'm sorry, my daughter is coming in. I am just going to pause one moment. Okay, you gotta go. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm also a parent of an adult daughter with autism. Nicole, I'm going to start over. Nicole is a Triple P coordinator and an experienced early childhood educator with over 13 years in the field. She also has a degree in child development. Throughout her career, she has worked with various organizations dedicating to supporting young children's growth and development. Currently, she works closely with parents as a Triple P parenting coordinator through our Triple P Positive Parenting Program at Canuck Child and Family Services. She is currently pursuing a master's degree in counseling psychology, and Nicole is very passionate about strengthening family relationships and supporting emotional well-being. Thank you so much, Julie and Nicole, for doing this for us this evening, and I am going to hand this over to you and turn off my sound and my camera.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Great. Thanks, Chenza. Jay, will you launch that first poll for us now? Is that possible?
Yeah, it's launched.
It's launched? Okay.
Yeah.
And can you share the results just so that I can't see any of the results? I don't know if that's possible.
Shared. If you would answer the question, you will see the results.
Okay, I don't have the poll. Let me just move something around and see. No. Okay. I will suffice it to say that I'm going to move on without the poll just for sake of time.
I'm going to pop in, Julie. We have 33% that live in York Region, 67% live in Ontario, outside of York Region.
Okay, great, perfect. We're all in Ontario. Excellent. It'll make it easier for me to present because it's a little bit different for folks inside of York Region and folks outside of York Region. So again, thank you all for being here. Really excited to have this opportunity to teach you a little bit something about what Triple P is and why it could be helpful, why it may be helpful to you. So we did the opening poll. We're going to talk about what evidence-based parenting education is, confirm and let you know that Canuck does offer Triple P in all the different programs and modalities. And we'll talk about how it all works so that you have a really good understanding that if and when you want to engage in evidence-based parenting education, you know how to go about that. And it can be very simple. It can be an ongoing process. It's up to you how and when you need it. And of course, Q&A at any point in time. As soon as you think of a question, by all means, pop it in the Q&A. And we will either answer it through the Q&A or we'll answer it at the end. But while it's fresh in your mind, pop it in there as we go. Okay, fair enough. Everybody cool with that agenda? So evidence-based parenting education, and specifically Triple P, it's education for parents. Triple P is only for parents. Most evidence-based parenting education programs are backed by research. Triple P specifically has 40 years of ongoing research to show that it works. And not only in Canada, but where it originated in Australia and in 26 other countries around the world. So it's been something that's been around for a long time. I'm still surprised to this day that when I ask people, have you heard about Triple P? When I ask parents if they've heard about Triple P, sometimes the answer is no. So I'm really glad you're here to learn about this. Part of what I really love about Triple P is this whole concept of a self-regulatory framework. And just to break that down, what it means to me and to you is that we're not going to tell you how to be a parent. That's up to you. It's based on your cultures, your beliefs, your idea of what family looks like. What Triple P does is it teaches you effective strategies that can help you with your family in that way that you want. So we're not going to tell you do this, do that, do this. We're going to say, what's your goal? What are you trying to teach? Could we consider this? And if we do this, the evidence shows that this will be the result with your child's behaviors. So Triple P specifically is very focused on helping you manage child behaviors, mild, medium, moderate, severe child behaviors. They can all be managed through this education that you would take to learn 17 to 25 different strategies. Triple P is a system of programs. It's not one size fits all. So it's based in early intervention. So we have programs that are meant to get you right at the 2-year mark when children start to present behaviors, when they, start to turn into those little toddlers that know how to say no and how to push your buttons and how to push the boundaries. So we start with early intervention and try to get you the strategies early on so that you can prevent further problems then from happening. If you don't contact us until a child is 5 or 6 or 8 or 10, and the behaviors are more solidified in that child's being, then we can look at treatment options. So we can do something very short and brief early on. If not, we can do treatment later, or depending on the behaviors that you're presenting and the difficulties that you're having. So there's different levels of increasing intensity within the Triple P suite of programs. And it's really based on this whole concept of minimal sufficiency, meaning that we're not going to overteach you. We're going to give you what you need to get going, see how that works, and then we'll come together again and see what's next. And it's absolutely a multidisciplinary approach. So within York Region, not only can our Child and Family Services offer Triple P, but we have other partners like Family Services York Region, York Hills, Social Enterprise of Canada, Early Intervention Services, and the Early On programs. So it's not a one size fits all for agencies or for staff. Sometimes we have psychologists that are trained in Triple P. We also have nurses, we have early childhood educators, we have child and youth workers. So there are many different ways that you can access Triple P, and it's really about you and your family and what your goals are. So to break it down, I've told you some of this stuff. So Triple P is available across all of our Kinark program areas. Doesn't matter if you're in Peterborough, Northumberland, Simcoe, Aurora, Richmond Hill, and across all of those programs, we have trained and accredited practitioners that will provide the service. So we talked about how it can be a very brief service. We might meet with you one time, or we might have 4 one-hour sessions with you. We might do a group program. We might do a 9-week group program where you can be with other parents to hear what's going on in their household so that you will feel less alone. That's the idea of groups, is so that you can see that the challenges that we're facing today as parents, you're not alone. Everybody's going through that. Everybody has bedtime challenges. Everybody has, that attitude, that talk back. Everybody has something going on with a child where Triple P, evidence-based parenting education, could be appropriate. And there's no one way that you can access it. We ask, do you want to work individually with a practitioner, or would you prefer to work in a group, or would you prefer the self-directed online program? There is no one way, and there is no one program. So Kinark offers Triple P throughout all the programs, and it really does help turn challenges that you have with your children into opportunities. And that's what we really do with framing this, is like when your child is misbehaving, we want to think about disciplining them for the misbehavior, or we want to punish them. What about flipping that switch? And what about the opportunity to engage with them when they're in behaving appropriately? Because the bottom line is what you give attention to gets repeated. So if we're stuck in this cycle of giving our children trouble for all the things that they're not doing like we want them to do, and we flip that 180 degrees and we start really appreciating those moments when they do share, when they do as they're asked straight away, right? So it's framing it in a totally different way so that you can see the good in them and work towards teaching them the things that are missing, if that makes sense. So what can you expect? What are the outcomes? Let's say you take part in a Triple P program. What does the evidence show happens? Well, the evidence shows that you can have a reduction in overreactivity. And a lot of parents come into Triple P and they don't even realize that they are acting overreactive. They are being overreactive, right? We think we have to be stern, we have to be firm, and sometimes, yes, we do, but there's a line. So what we do before you begin the program, we do these parenting surveys, these parenting questionnaires, and they tell us all of this information. And then we do it again at the end of the program to measure the change. So the change in your overreactivity, laxness, permissive parenting, parenting conflict. We even measure your own personal anxiety, depression, and stress. It's not a diagnostic tool, but it does give us an indication around the level of anxiety, depression, and stress that you have as a parent. It also addresses or measures problems between co-parents. So the results, the evidence in the Triple P program shows us that we get a reduction in all of those areas. And then we see increases in your relationship index and your satisfaction of being in a relationship with your co-parent, and parental confidence. We build confidence that you're doing the right thing. So let's say you're a really awesome parent already, and your parental confidence is 80%. Maybe it's going to move to 90. And that little bit of improvement might make all the difference in the world. Or it may just solidify that the strategies and techniques that you're using are working and they are successful. So there's no reason not to engage in parenting education. And I think that's why I'm so passionate about this, is because I would love to be in a society where parents have to take parenting education in order to raise children. We do that for driving a car. We do that for all kinds of other things, but not for parenting. Love that to happen. So as a parent, the outcomes would be presented to you like this in a bar graph, where you can actually see the results of your pre and post questionnaires. So the blue, or the more teal line, is where we were before we started the program. And the green line is where we were after the program. So this particular parent, in terms of hostility, they were above the clinical cutoff. So I'm starting at the bottom of that bar graph. Those pink lines are the clinical cutoff, meaning that anyone that scores higher than that is more hostile. So yelling, screaming, punishing, those types of things are happening. So in this particular case, this client is above the clinical cutoff in terms of hostility. And post-program, there is no hostility. And overreactivity, while they're not at clinical cutoff, they were at a 3.4, and they had a reduction to 1.8. So it just gives you a sample of what you're going to see when you do engage in a Triple P program. So the content of Triple P is doesn't matter which of the many different programs you engage in. We will always talk about needs of children and the causes of behaviors. And we might even get you to track so that you can see the causes of the behaviors. Then we're going to talk about promoting a positive relationship. What are the strategies that we need to make sure that we're doing 80% of the time to ensure that the relationship that we have with your child, or that the relationship that you have with your child, is positive? Because we have to build on a foundation of positivity before we can actually even start to teach new skills and behaviors. Okay. And only after we've done those 2 levels of training can we then get into the managing misbehaviors, right? So Triple P, over the course of the 40 years, developed a system that seems to work very, very well, where we start. And I'm going to just show you on the next slide. This is what you'll learn. So this is the Triple P pyramid strategy. So you'll see at the bottom, it has these blank squares. So we're going to fill in and tell you what those strategies are in all of those squares. And we're going to start at the bottom, and we're going to focus on 6 strategies for building a positive relationship. Then we're going to move into the 6 or 9 strategies for teaching new skills and behaviors. And then we're going to end with managing misbehaviors, because you cannot possibly manage misbehaviors until that foundation of positivity is in place. Does that make sense to everybody? Hope so. Nicole's smiling, so I think I'm doing okay. So, okay, how can you get Triple P? I'm going to show you our website very, very shortly, because 67% of the audience is outside of York Region. And I'll keep in mind that I want to address the 33 that are in York Region as well. So you can attend free virtual sessions. Anybody in the province of Ontario can attend free virtual sessions. They're usually anywhere from an hour to 2, often in the evening. You register on our website, you pitch up, you don't have to have your camera on, you don't have to talk, you can just listen to the information and get the training. There's individual and group sessions, and that's more the treatment. That's the more intensive type program. So they could be anywhere from, depending on the program, it could be 5 to 9 sessions. We can do in-person presentations. Let's say you run you're at a school and you want to bring Triple P to your school. We can arrange in-person presentations, whether you're in York Region or elsewhere in the province. We can arrange for that as well, so that the school then hosts a Triple P event. You bring the parents into your school and we provide the training. There's also the latest and greatest part of the Triple P, because this didn't exist when I started, but we now have self-directed online programs. And these are fantastic for those folks that don't really have a lot of time. They are good self-motivated independent learners. You would have a program that you can access 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can go on for 10 minutes or for an hour. You can go on as often as you want, and you would have access to the program for 1 full year. And it comes with a downloadable workbook and the various tip sheets on the most common problems that parents are facing. So I'm going to just navigate. I'm going to see if I can just navigate easily to the other. Yes, I think I did. Okay, Nicole, help me out. Are we seeing the Positive Parenting website? Yay, yes. Fantastic. Okay, I'm gonna have to move my camera a little bit this way. So this is a public domain website, and it's www.triple-p-parenting.ca. So pretty simple to go to. My favorite places, there's a lot of content here, so I'm not going to give it all to you, but I'm going to show you my favorite places. When you hover over this yellow parenting course, I'm going to immediately go to those free virtual sessions. I'm going to click on something called Find a Session. When I click on that, just wait for it to load. and you're going to see all the free virtual sessions listed chronologically based on the date, the time, the date, everything is there. The trick with this page is leave this city search part blank. Because this is open to any parent in Ontario, leave this blank and you have access to all of these programs. Doesn't matter if it's happening in Aurora or in Kemptville or in Belleville, you have access to any of these that say free. You have access to the ones that don't say free as well, but I would go with the free ones first, right? So let's say, so this is what's happening on this coming Monday night. I will be presenting a presentation for parents of teens. It's a teen seminar called Getting Teens Connected. So if you click on that, it's going to give you a little more detail and it's going to give you a link to register. So sometimes you have to navigate to a different page to register for that session. Or sometimes, let me just find one that you might be able to register for right online. This one, family transitions. What is family transitions? I haven't talked about that. I'm going to leave that for Nicole. But on this particular one, it tells you who's running it. It gives you an email and a phone number, and it also gives you an opportunity to register. So put your name, email, phone number, and message in there to register for this program. Okay. So that's one of my favorite places, is this cool thing under parenting courses called Find a Session. And it's a live calendar. Everything gets populated as we load them. So right now, the next session is happening on Monday. It's for parents of teens. This one is full up, and Nicole and I are also presenting that one. And you can see that this is all the way down till November 18th, 2025, and more will get added, right? So have a look in here and see if there's anything that grabs your attention. The dates, the times, everything's there, and just click the register button. Okay, so that's one of my favorite places. The other favorite place is this thing called news, articles and news. And if you hover there, I'm going to just click on see all articles and news. You can see there are 167 parenting articles. And it tells you how long it is to read each of these articles. You can read them online, you can highlight, copy them, print them, put them in the bathroom to read them later when you have 5 minutes to yourself. There's no wrong way to do this. And there's also filters. So if you have a 10-year-old, you can click on that category and say, I've got bullying issues. So then you're going to see that there are 3 specific articles on bullying. So it's going to give you a taste of what Triple P is going to tell you, and it might give you just enough advice that you might be able to mobilize and help your child that's going through some bullying issues. Okay, so you can use the filters. There's, I'm not going to count all of these, but there's all these different topics and a total of 167 articles. So let me just see what else. There's a lot more information. There's all these categories that you can read. And just for time, I'm not going to do all that tonight because my time is almost up, and I'm going to turn it over to Nicole. The hot topics is also very, very good, because doesn't everybody have children around 2 or 3 that throw tantrums? Well, there's an article on that. Coping with fear, anger, and sadness, bedtime routines, right? And of course, there's a contact page that will go to Triple P Canada, and they can direct you further to an agency that might be able to support you. Oh, one last thing, Nicole. When you go on the Contact Us, you're going to do this thing. There's this Find a Provider map. So depending on where you live, here's the map of Ontario that shows you how many different providers or Triple P agencies are in the province. And in this one, you do want to put in your city. So I'm going to just put in Brockville, Ontario, Canada. I'm going to search that, and I'm going to see that there are 2 agencies in Brockville that offer Triple P. One is Children's Mental Health Leads in Grenville, and there's an actual name, Julie Darling, and then there's Every Kid in Our Community. So this Find a Provider site is excellent. let me just put in Sudbury and see what happens. If I knew where you guys were actually. So Sudbury, oh, it says, sorry, no providers here found within your search area. So that becomes a difficult thing for us because while we provide Triple P for free in York Region, outside of York Region, it may be free or it may not be free. If you are in a region where there aren't Triple P providers, you'll have my contact information at the end. Because I sit on the Triple P Ontario network, I can navigate and help you find a Triple P provider in your area or help you find the fee for services that might be right for you. Okay. I guess the other thing, sorry, I know I keep saying last thing. No, I'm going to leave it because you might talk about it, but I'll leave this open, Nicole, and I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint for you to take
Julie,
over.
Before you go over, oh, it's okay. It's okay.
I'm good. Okay, I'm going to start the slideshow from where I am, from current slide. So this is where I left off, correct, Nicole?
Correct.
Okay, here you go, turning it over to you.
Okay, so Julie gave us a wonderful overview of Triple P and some of the wonderful things that we can offer you with the Triple P programs. But what are the programs? Let's get into it. What programs do exist and which ones are right for you? So we have two examples, and on that one website that Julie was just on, if you're on the very main page, the landing page, and you scroll down to the bottom, you'll see that yellowy color, and it's a big bar that goes right across, and that's where you'll see these exact images on your screen right now. So these are taken from there and they're on your screen right now. This is what they'll look like. Okay, so we're just going to explain each one of them. So group Triple P is referring to our 0 to 12-year-old group. It's also referring to our Stepping Stones group. So for children that have special needs or oh my gosh, what was I saying? That have special needs. So our 0 to 12 program is this one here. It is delivered in various ways. So this one is delivered with other people in that group method. It's also delivered one-on-one. As Julie mentioned, there are some for free and some that you might have to pay for. That's really dependent on your region. And this one specifically is 8 sessions long. Okay, so the first 4 sessions are in that group format. And then you go into the 3 sessions that are one-on-one. Okay, so this is a combined within the group. And then for that last final session, you are now coming together to do the session one more time as a group. Okay, that's the same format for the one below, the group teen program. It's the same format. It's just now that we're, our tweens and teens are getting older, we have slightly different topics and strategies to go through. So this one is more directed for that 10 to 16-year-old age group. Back to the Stepping Stones. So our Stepping Stones program, again, is for children that do have a diagnosis, and that is very similar to these 2 groups. They just have an additional session. So it's actually 9 sessions total. So you start with the 5 group sessions at the beginning. You have the 3 one-on-one sessions with the practitioner, and then you come back together to have that final session all together. Okay, so that's a brief overview of the 3 Triple P groups. Next, we have our Fearless Triple P. So this is for children or families with children that are experiencing anxiety. Okay, so this is very similar, that it is a group format. You just don't have the one-on-one sessions. So it's a group format with 6 sessions total. This one is a little bit, the ages are typically 6 and above. The strategies are fantastic. This is one of my favorite programs, 6 and all the way up to, well into adulthood. The strategies work for absolutely everyone. So come on in. If your child is experiencing anxiety, come learn some strategies for them. Perhaps you have some anxiety too, and you can learn some strategies for yourself. It's great for everyone. This one also comes in a one-day workshop format. Okay, so much like what Julie was saying with those sessions where you pop in, you don't have your camera on or your video or your audio on, and you're just there to take notes and to learn new strategies. It's also offered in that method. You don't have the opportunity to have that engagement, but you get a lot of information in one session. Okay, so that is an option. The one below there, Julie had mentioned that one a little bit earlier too, Family Transitions Triple P. So this one is specific for families going through a separation or divorce. This one has, this one is in a group format. Okay, so the Fearless has the 6 sessions. The Transitions has the 5 sessions. It does say one-on-one there, but I think that's because you can do individual one-on-one with a practitioner. It does not have the one-on-ones embedded in the group the same way that our 0 to 12 Stepping Stones and teen program does. Okay, this one is for families that have children all the way from birth or even pre-birth up to age 16, give or take, is appropriate. Lots of great strategies for mindfulness and helping you navigate those co-parenting challenges. All right, so back to that discussion group we've mentioned a couple of times. These are fantastic because they are specific to a topic. Okay, and we'll go through those topics right now, actually. So the topics for children, for families of children roughly 2 to 10 years old, the topics consist of managing disobedience. Okay, so if you just want to learn strategies on how to manage those disobedience, pop into one of those sessions. You'll get some great strategies. We will tell you all about the foundational strategies needed to get to the managing misbehaviors within that session, but you'll get some great strategies nonetheless. Then you have topics for supporting you through bedtime challenges. Bedtime challenges, very common. That one's a very well attended program. You go through wonderful strategies on how to support just those bedtime routines and how to get them to sleep. The next one there is fighting and aggression. So if you have one child or multiple children that are fighting with each other, this is a great topic for you to attend. We go through lots of strategies on how to support that sibling rivalry, as well as just a solo child if they're just having some difficulties navigating friendships or they're fighting or becoming aggressive with yourself or within schools. Lots of great strategies for that. Then we have our going shopping. So if you're having challenges with going out and getting some groceries done or going to the to the mall or wherever it might be, this one's a great one to set you up for success before you even make it out the door. And then again, once you get there, what to do when behaviors do happen when you're at the store, and how to navigate through those challenges. The newest one is our screen time program. So this one is talking about how to manage the screen time use, as well as how to put boundaries and rules around screen time and what that might look like within your home. As Julie mentioned, we're not going to tell you how to parent. This is your home. You know what's best. We're just giving you new strategies to support you through some of these challenges. And it's totally up to you how you implement that. And we're just here to support. Okay. So that's our 2 to 10-ish range of strategies. And then we have our preteen and teens. And so with those, the topics consist of getting your teens to cooperate, whether that's with, with the family unit itself, with the school, cooperating with school, or even cooperating outside with the community. Building survival skills, dealing or supporting teenagers with their emotions. And then the last one there is reducing family conflict and how we can get some strategies to help reduce those family conflicts.
Yeah, excellent. And Nicole, great job. I'm just reminded now, it seems really good here to remind folks that So what I'm hearing is there's 3 streams of programming. There's programming for parents of children 0 to 10-ish. There's programs for preteens and teens, and there's a stream of programs for children with special needs.
There is.
And there's a program for parents that are expecting or have an infant. So Triple P's got the whole gambit really covered.
Absolutely. And here they are, Julie. So
Right.
thank you for bringing that up. So here is just an image that overviews all of the Triple P programs. And the one that Julie just mentioned right there was the Triple P for babies. So even if you're a parent or your parents to be, that's a really great place to start, right? If you're unsure on where to start or where you want to go with your parenting journey, you can start right there with the Triple P for babies. There's that stepping stones. There's even disaster recovery seminars. There's the transitions, the fearless, so for the anxiety. There's lots of Triple P programs that really does cover anything that you might be going through within your home. We're here to help.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, I did this. I took one of your slides.
That's okay. That's okay, Julie. So Julie wonderfully already went to the website and showed you all this. Again, just to highlight that red circle you see on your screen, leave that part blank. Okay. So as Julie mentioned, it is Ontario wide. So whether it doesn't matter where you live in Ontario, there are programs for you. So leave that part blank. We'll just highlight that a couple times because it's important. Within this area, if you can go back just a second there, Julie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Within this area, Julie was also mentioning the register button. Make sure that you do read everything that's written in that blurb. Sometimes an agency might only support the, people within their region, and it doesn't happen often, but sometimes that does happen. Or you might have, again, that part where it doesn't say free, you might have some fees in there. So just when you do open that page that Julie had shown you earlier, just make sure you take a look and read through exactly, what you are signing up for. Thanks, Julie. Now you can go to the next one.
Yeah.
Triple P provincial website. So this again is that website that Julie showed you. You have the option there to register for free virtual sessions, which Julie went through. Thank you for that, Julie. We have the parenting articles that Julie went through. There are so many wonderful articles there. Go through, read whatever it is that you're interested in, whatever it is that's applicable to your current circumstances within your home. Another great spot is if you are waiting for a service, if you're waiting for one of those seminars or groups, hop in there, read those articles, see what we're going to start talking about. There's so many, and they're constantly being uploaded. There's new ones coming all the time. So even if you do, go through and there is one from a few years ago, it's still pretty relevant, right? Parenting has changed over time, absolutely. But a lot of it is quite the same. It's quite similar. That contact us portion that Julie had mentioned is there. So you click that contact us, that'll take you right to the Triple P people, right? The Triple P corporate. You can ask your questions there. They can help direct you. So that's the contact us. The purchased self-directed online programs. Again, when I with the first ones that I started talking about there. So if you scroll down on the website and you see that yellow orange, it's yellowy orange, but it's yellow bar. If you keep going to the right, you'll see every single program there. And if you go all the way to the end of that bar, that's just another way to get to where Julie was showing find a session, although she did it the easier way. And then there's the find the practitioner option as well that Julie went through. So that's just an overview of the website. Okay, so we have the self-referral and free intake calls. So Canark Child and Family Services does free intake calls. You are absolutely able to refer yourself. Do not hesitate to reach out to us if you are in York Region or if you are in Northumberland or Durham or any of those regions, they have their own phone number, but you're still welcome to reach out to Julie. Her email is right there. She can guide you to the right place. But here at Canuck, we're very, very happy to help support you through your Triple P or parenting journey. So please reach out. We have those online pre and post surveys that Julie had talked about at the beginning. That is part of your waiting period. So if you are registered for one of our groups or one of our one-on-one practitioner sessions, then we will send you the pre-surveys and then the post surveys at the very end. And we can absolutely go through those with you if you wish, show you your outcomes. It's a really great way to just see, okay, this is working, and it's showing me right here. Here's the proof that this is working. And I'm a parent too, and trust me, it does work. Okay, a lot of these wonderful strategies I use on a daily, so I will attest to the strategies. They do work. And then Canuck. Here at Canuck, we are very flexible with dates and times. So we work with you to meet your needs as a parent. You have busy schedules. We absolutely understand that. So if you are able to do your sessions during the workday, amazing. We'll support you at that point. Or just during nap time, right in that middle, wherever the nap time is, we'll support you there. Or if it's in the evening, we can support you then as well. Okay. If you're outside of Canuck, again, reach out to Julie. She is part of that, the Triple P network. She can guide you. She has a lovely map of all of the areas in Ontario that do have Triple P, and she can certainly guide you on where to go.
Yes, I will tell everybody where to go.
All right. So again, everything that we've mentioned today, Triple P has the discussion groups and seminars. They're typically 2 hours long. You can find sessions that are like an hour for lunch and learns, but typically they're 2 hours long. There is the primary care or individual one-on-one services. Those are, again, typically an hour long. They can go longer, all dependent, but typically an hour. We have the groups, 6 to 9 2-hour group sessions with all of the topics listed below, which is the topics that we did mention earlier. And then we have that self-directed online option that you can go to right on the website, and you can pay if you wish, or you can reach out to an agency and they can guide you on where to go next with that one as well. So within that one, there is the Triple P for babies, there is the 0 to 12, there is the teen program, the special needs program, the program for separation and divorce, and as well as the program for anxiety, for children with anxiety. All right. Julie, did you want to add anything?
The only thing that I think we didn't do a service to particularly well yet is the purchasing the online. And I just want to honor that 67% of the people are outside of Canuck catchment areas. And studies show that about 5% of parents wanting to take parent education would prefer an online program, a self-directed online program. So I'll say that we're good for now. I'll see if Chenza has any questions in her chat, and otherwise I'll navigate back to the website and just show folks, I don't want this to be a money thing at all, but I want to show you where you would purchase the Triple P online program if in fact that's what you want to do. Chenza, how you doing?
Yes, we don't have any questions, but I'd like to remind everybody who is in our audience this evening that if you would like to ask a question, just direct yourself to the Q&A icon at the top of your screen. It is right next to the chat. So please definitely send questions and our Susanna, can you put your question in the chat? Is that possible? Thank you. I thought this was so important. I thought I knew everything about Triple P. I didn't know that you offered for newborns and
Mm.
expecting parents. What I know that our tech person behind is a new parent of a 4-month-old, and he's like,
Ah.
oh my God, I think I need to sign up. What I did appreciate was the screen time edition.
Mm.
I think it really shows that that it's current, right? That you're
Yeah.
going evidence, and I think a lot of families could use that. I'm just wondering if I know that a lot of our mental health agencies in all of Ontario, there's a challenge with wait list. I'm wondering if this is a good alternative. Or something to do while you're waiting to access mental health services or services in your community. I know that the stepping stones, my daughter who interrupted me as I was introducing you, which I apologize for. We did Triple P when she was younger. She has autism, and we did your stepping stones program many, many years ago. But now people with children with autism are waiting for funding and looking for things um, to do until they get some funding for services. Is this a good thing to
Absolutely.
do?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, Chenza. So at Kinark specifically, like many mental health agencies, there is a wait list. And sometimes the wait list is to see a therapist or a counselor. And so what we do is with those folks, we do offer Triple P as a waitlist service program. And after, if they do engage and after they've taken Triple P, sometimes it's also the case that then they don't need the further counseling or therapy because they're now on a better path. They now understand why that child is doing what they're doing and how they can manage it better, how they can prevent it and manage it more appropriately. So it's absolutely a phenomenal waitlist strategy.
Excellent. And I do really appreciate the array of topics. And I'd like that. Can you divulge more? I know that you had said that you could go into schools that a parent can coordinate having you in school. I'm assuming similar with daycare centers and other facilities where there's a lot of children and parents.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Even if you are part of a parent group and you meet on a Saturday with parents and babes and you want to bring us in to do a presentation there, that's totally possible. In-person presentations will depend on how far and geographically, whether it's feasible to travel, or we can always do virtual as well. So yeah, and I think that's an important distinction. On the Triple P website, we talk about these free virtual sessions. So virtual is what we're doing. This is virtual. Triple P uses the word online as the self-directed. So when we say online, and what I think you're seeing here on the screen is under that parenting courses tab, the first thing that's going to be on this list is Triple P Online for Baby. So that's the self-directed online program. Then there's online for 0 to 12, online for parents of teens, online Fearless, and online family transitions. So let's just, for the fun of it, click on the Fearless Triple P Online. And it's going to tell me, oh, look, I can do this program on my phone. Here's what I need to know. Here's if it's the right program for me. Oh, look, I can do it on my tablet, on a desktop, or on my phone. This is what the screens look like. Oh, and I can buy it right now for $95.30. And you will get the 6 interactive modules. You'll get 23 downloadable resources, 12 months of unlimited access, and a certificate of completion. So it is a way to go for those self-motivated self-starter type that want to do it, as fast or as slow as they need to. So each of those modalities at the top again. So there's baby online, and maybe Jay, for your work, maybe we can hook you up with something. 0 to 12 online, teen online, Fearless, and family transitions. And we've been patiently waiting for the Stepping Stones Online, which is the program for parents with children with special needs or exceptionalities.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So is that about the average cost is about 95?
Yeah, each of those programs, doesn't matter which one of them is, they're all $95.30 as of today.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
not too bad. I think
No,
a lot of families who are accessing private services, are pleased that this isn't as expensive as some of other services,
sure.
paid services in our community for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the free to access again would be the virtual or the online.
Well, so depends where you live, because Triple
Okay,
P is not provincially funded. So if you live
okay,
in York Region, even the online is free for you. So when Nicole mentioned on the last slide with my other email, my non-Kinark email, if folks that live outside of Kinark catchment areas, if they want to contact me and they live in Timmins, then I can hook them up with the agency that might be giving out free codes in Timmins or in
excellent.
Brockville. Or I can let them know that there aren't free codes in that area and that they would have to purchase it. So
Okay,
until we can get, and that's one of the other mandates that I have in my role for Ontario, is we're desperately trying to get Triple P funded across the province, provincially funded, so that every parent can access it for free. So we're not there yet. We've been working
yeah.
at it for the better part of 10 years. Who knows?
Well, I do like the ease of the website. It's almost like a match.com where you put in an
Mm,
age and it kind of brings up
yeah,
where to
where you
go.
need to be. Yeah,
And
absolutely.
another question, if Jay goes with his newborn, him and his wife decide that this is something that would be beneficial to them. And then they have a couple of other children and one of them is 10 years old. Can they go back? Are they welcome back to a program that most meets their
Abs-
needs as their
oh,
children get older?
absolutely. Oh, yeah. We have the clients that we were working with like 3 and 4 years ago in that young age. They're now thinking about the teens and they're coming back. It's like, he's turned 12. I need some help. It's like,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, that's excellent.
Yeah.
And again, anybody who is in our audience, if you would like to ask a question, somebody wants to know, is there a code for Toronto?
Toronto. So Toronto has the agency in Toronto. And what I can do is I'll show you what you would do. If you wanted to find that question out, you would go to the Find a Provider map. You're going to put in here Toronto, and you're going to see if there's an agency in Toronto that offers Triple P. And I think they're not listed there, but I know the inside scoop. So you'll see that, like, Nicole as a private practitioner is listed. Positive Parenting Ontario, so we do that area. There's Jessica. So these are all probably private, but there is Youthdale Treatment Center. So Youthdale Treatment Center would be the agency that you would go to see if they have codes, free codes. So, and then when I click on it, I see that they only offer group teen. So then it becomes limiting because each of the Triple P programs is a separate training. And if I look at the Macaulay Child Development Center, they do group stepping stones. Whereas if you put on Positive Parenting Association Ontario, we do, lots of different modalities. Right. So in Toronto, the other agency in Toronto you can try is the Geneva Center and Strides. Both of those, all three of those agencies, Youthdale, Geneva Center, and Strides, they do offer Triple P, and that would be your contact to see if they offer free codes.
So if I'm living in Toronto and they don't have a program that I'm looking for, but what I'm looking for, they have in Aurora, am I allowed to travel out of my geographical location?
That's up to each agency. So
Okay.
I know for like early intervention services, they will not service clients outside their catchment area. But Kinark, we do if seats are available. Now, having said that, remember, anybody can access all the free virtual sessions. So this doesn't matter where you are.
Okay.
Toronto people can register and attend any and all of these, and especially the ones that say free.
And according to evaluations and feedback from families, are they as effective as doing an in-person individual or group? Just curious.
Yeah, absolutely. Because even like at Kinark, we do the groups, but we're doing them virtually.
Okay.
Right? So there's no different. The difference between virtual and in person is the convenience for the parents. They don't have to worry about childcare. They can set the TV up and they can have the activities for the kids while they're doing the virtual programming. And the difference between these one-off sessions is that it's 2 hours of content versus 16 hours of content.
Yeah.
Now, if you're having minimal issues and you just need some good advice to get you going in the right way, the free virtual sessions are a very good place to start.
Excellent.
Yes.
Well, this was an excellent presentation. Julie, would you mind repeating your email address again?
Sure.
I think you can.
I can probably pull it back up on the screen.
Okay, perfect.
Let's do this. Are you seeing that, Chenza?
We are, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So inside of York Region, anywhere in Kinark catchment area. So Simcoe, York, Durham, Peterborough, Northumberland. Did I say them all, Nicole? I think so. If you're in those areas, you can contact me at Kinark. If you live outside of a Kinark catchment area, then contact me at julie@positive-parenting.ca.
Thank you so much, Julie. And thank you so much, Nicole. This was so informative. And this brings us to the end of our time together because we have no more questions. We have no questions. Jay has not indicated that we do in our chat. So thank you everybody for joining us. We do hope that you found the information shared tonight helpful. A copy of this session a recording of this session will be on our website within the next week or so. And Jay is going to be launching a poll just to evaluate what your experience was with us this evening. Before you log off, please take a moment to complete so we can plan for future sessions. And I'd like to thank everybody for joining us and keep an eye on our website. We do have a November session coming up and we welcome you to join. And thank you again, Julie and Nicole. This was very informative. Thank you, guests, for taking time out of your evening to join us. We hope you did learn something and we hope to see you back at one of our future sessions. Thank you so much.
Perfect. Thanks, Chenza. Thanks, Jay. Thanks, Nicole. Have a great night.
Good night.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.